Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of this Level Up tutorial series on Google Drive. In this episode, I'll be showing you how to work with files and folders so that you can save yourself time and get the most out of your Drive account. Let's get started. Okay, so here we are in the Google Drive environment, and the first thing we want to do today is to create a new folder. So to create a new folder, we can click on the downward facing triangle here and move down to New Folder. And then this pop-up comes up where we can title our new folder. And we're going to call it something like G Drive Tutorial. Okay, and then we hit Create. And then we can see our new folder is right here. It was put right here because currently these folders are arranged by name. And you can see that right here. And we can change that. We can click on that and we can change it to last modified by me, or last opened by me. But we'll just keep it on name for now. Okay, so if we right click on this folder here, we're going to get some options. So we can share this folder. We can get a shareable link to this folder. We can move this folder. We can move this folder into another folder if we wanted to. We can add this folder to our starred list. We can rename the folder here, or we can change the color. Let's see, let's change it to Cardinal. So now we have it as Cardinal. All right, let's go into our G Drive tutorial folder here. As you can see, there's nothing in the folder. We just have an empty folder here. Now what I'm going to show you how to do is how to create a subfolder. Subfolders are important because they help you stay organized. And being organized is key when you're working on a large project. And being and staying organized is easier if you start off organized. So I always like to create all the folders I'm going to need before I actually start working on a project. So let's create a new subfolder. We can do that by clicking on the downward facing triangle again, and we can go down to New Folder. And we're going to call this one Assets. Create. And then we're going to go into this folder, and we can create another subfolder. We'll call this one Documents. And so now we have 2 levels of subfolders. So now we'll go into the Documents folder, and let's now talk about how to upload a file to Google Drive. So just some quick guidelines. When you're uploading files to Google Drive, there is a 5 terabyte limit to the size of a file that you can upload into Google Drive. Now that is a massive file that most people will never even work with anything even close to that large. But that is the current limit of a file that you can upload into Google Drive. It's 5 terabytes. Now, if you're converting a Word file into a Google Doc, the limit is 50 megabytes. You can upload as large a Word file as you want, but if you want to convert that file into a Google Doc, it can't be any larger than 50 megabytes. So let's go ahead and upload a new document to this subfolder. We can do that by clicking on New, and then underneath folder is File Upload. So that opens up our dialog box. So then we navigate to the proper folder on our PC. And here we see our Word document that we want. And we get our pop-up down at the bottom telling us the upload is complete. And here is our document. And we can tell it's a Word document because we have the W in the blue box right here. Okay, let's go back to our Assets folder. Let's go up one level into our Assets folder. Okay. And now we want to create a new folder. We want to create an Images folder. So I've got a folder here on my PC that has 3 images in it that I want to incorporate into this document. But I don't want to have to upload them one at a time. In this case, I can upload the entire folder all at once into my Google Drive. So we do that by going on New, and then underneath File Upload, we have Folder Upload. So then we navigate to the proper folder. It's the Images folder here. And then we hit Upload. And here's our pop-up saying we have 0 of 3 loaded, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and now 3 of 3. So if I go into the Images folder, all 3 images appear there. So it's a great way to save some time. If you have a whole bunch of files in one folder, you don't have to go through the process of uploading them all individually into Google Drive. You can do it all at once in a single folder. All right, so let's go back to our Assets folder, and then back into Documents to the Word document that we uploaded just a minute ago. So when we click on the Word document, it doesn't open it up in Google Docs. It opens it up here in what is called a Preview Lightbox. This gives us a preview of the document, but we can't really edit it right here. So any file that's not a Google Doc or a Google Sheets or Google Slides or anything like that will open up in a Preview Lightbox. So in the Lightbox, we have some options here across the top. We can go back to where we were. We can open this. We can take it into Google Docs from here if we want to. We can add comments, print. We can download this file onto our computer. And we also have some more actions, which include sharing, moving this document to another folder. We can add a star to it, rename it, and there's the document details right here. So we'll go back and we can open it up with Google Docs, or we can go back and we can right click on it, and then up here at the top, we can do Open With and send it straight into Google Docs from there. So that opens up our document in a new tab. Okay, here's our file name right here. We can rename it by typing in this box if we want to. We can see that it's a Word file by this blue rectangle here with the .docx file extension in it. We can star this file from here. We can move it to another folder from here. And this tells us the current document status. This tells us whether or not the changes that we've made to it have been saved in Google Drive. So we want to convert this Word document into a Google Drive document. And once you do that, the Word document will stay right where it is, and then you'll have your Google Drive file, and still you'll have the Word file. So to convert this into a Google Doc, we go into File, and then Save as Google Docs. And that opens up another tab where the Google Docs version will show up. And as you see, as we switch between tabs, they are identical. Okay, now that we have both of our files, we can close these tabs. And so here is our doc file. There's the doc logo right there, and we still have our Word file. So if you're happy with the way that your Word document was converted into a Google Doc, you can then delete the Word file if you wish to, because the Word file is taking up space in your Google Drive, while the doc file is not. This one counts against your total. This one does not. And since they're identical, I would feel safe getting rid of this one. So if I wanted to get rid of it, you just click on it and then you go up here to the right and you hit the trash can. And then that sends it to the trash. But even if it's in the trash, it's still counted against our storage limit. So we can go into the trash, and then we can see here is a document right here. So we can just click on it, and then hit the trash can where it says delete forever. And we get the warning pop up, warning us that we can't undo this. That's fine, delete forever. And it goes away. Okay, so here we are back in the main Google Drive environment. And what we're going to talk about now is moving files and folders around through Google Drive. So I have mistakenly placed a couple of folders right here in the main drive, the audio and video folders here. I want those in the G Drive tutorial video. So how do we get these folders into this folder? There's a couple of ways to do that. One is you can take your audio folder here, you can select it, and you can just drag it into the G Drive tutorial folder. And if we go into G Drive, you can see here's our audio folder, but it actually goes in the assets folder. So then we have to drag it again into the assets folder. And so now here it is with the audio, the documents, and the images folders. So that's one way to do it. Not the best way. So let's go back to my drive. And so now we have our video folder here that we want to get into the G Drive tutorial folder. Another way to do that is to use the sidebar over here. So we can go click on the video folder, and then we can drag it over to our sidebar. And if you hold it over, that opens that up, and then we can drag it down to G Drive tutorial, open it to assets, and then we could plop it right here into the assets folder if we wanted to. That's the second way to do it. The third way to do it, and my personal favorite way to do it, is to right click on the folder and use the move tool. So let's go down to video, and then we right click on it, and then we go to move to. So we click that, and then this pop-up comes up. And so here we have our list of folders that are in my drive, and we can scroll down to G Drive tutorial. We click on the right facing arrow to go into that folder, and then here we see the assets folder. Let's click on that to go into that folder, and then there's our audio folder, the documents, and the images. And so from here, you hit move here, and that moves the video folder into the G Drive tutorial folder. And if we go into the G Drive tutorial, into assets, we can now see all of our folders right here. And this works for files as well. So let's go back to my drive. Let's go to our files here. This is a video file I want to put into the video folder. So we right click on this file, and then we do move to. Scroll down to G Drive tutorial, assets, and then video. And it says this folder is empty. And so this is where we want to put our document and move here. Okay, so that is how you quickly and efficiently move files and folders around Google Drive. One of the most powerful tools that Google Drive has is the ability to share files with other users. You can have up to 50 people working on one document simultaneously. So let's look at what the options are for sharing files in Google Drive. There are two ways to share a document. If our document is selected, in the upper right-hand corner we have Get Shareable Link and Share. So the first thing we'll look at is Get Shareable Link. So that opens up this pop-up. This top part tells us who this document has been shared with. We currently have no one in this list. This bottom part is where we get the link that we can share with people. Here's the link that's been generated for this document here. If you press on this button, this copies the link to your clipboard so that you can copy and paste it into an email or whatever document you want to paste it into. Underneath that, we have a drop down here. This is a permissions drop down. Currently, it's set to restricted. So only people who have been added to this document can open it with this link. And as you can see, there's no one up here that's been added to this document. So this link would be pretty much useless for anything. So we can change that by clicking on restricted, and then we can change it to anyone with the link. And so now it says anyone on the internet with this link can view. So you can give this link to whoever you want, and then they can at least view the document. Now on the right here, we have another permissions dropdown. Its default is set to viewer. So you can change that to viewer, meaning they can only look at the document. You can change it to commenter, they can view it and add comments to it, or an editor. You can actually allow people to make changes to this document. All right, so we have our link and we have it set to anyone. We can hit done. And that's how you get a shareable link to a document. Now, the other thing you can do is you can just share the document. So we'll click on that. And we get another pop-up. So this one is share with people and groups. And in the upper right-hand corner, we have a gear icon. And so we always want to look in the gear icon to see what our settings are. So let's click on that. So we have two primary settings for this. This one says editors can change permissions and share. You can turn that on or off, meaning that anyone you set as an editor can change permissions for other people who have been shared this document. Viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print, or copy. You can turn that off, meaning that if you've turned that off, the people who are only viewers and commenters can't download the document, print it, or copy text from it. But we'll leave those set to how they are, and we'll go back. And so in the gray box here, this is where you add people or groups to share to. I'll type in an email address, select, and so the box changes to this. On the right, I can set this person's permission status to viewer, commenter, or editor. I'll leave it set as editor. I have this box checked where it says notify, meaning they'll receive an email saying that this document has been shared with you. And in this gray box here, I can type a message specifically to this person. Hey, I shared this document with you. And below that, this tells us what the document is that's being shared. So if everything goes set the way you want, you hit send, and it goes off to the person to be shared. In this case, we'll just hit cancel. And then to get out of this, you can just click anywhere in the gray area. And you can also share folders. So if we go up into our assets folder here, and we go into images, you just have to right click on that, and then you can share this entire folder. And we get the same pop-up, meaning that whoever has access to this folder would have access to all the images inside. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about today is how to search in Google Drive. So the search bar is up here in the middle of the screen, and if you click in Search in Drive, the first thing you have an option to do is you can search by file type: PDFs, documents, spreadsheets, presentations, so on. So if I click on presentations, this gives me a list of all the presentations that I have in my Google Drive. They're all in different folders and different places from different times. But if I just click on presentation, it puts them all into one search result for me. So let's see a different way to search. We click the X on that. And then we go down to more search tools. This is sort of the advanced search for Google Drive. So just like before, type any. You can pick a particular type that you want to search for. Owner, that's probably just going to be owned by me, and most of your files are just going to be owned by you. Location, you can search in a particular folder. So here's our folder list. We can search in any one of these. We can search in the trash if you just want to look in the trash. We can search only our starred items. We can search by the date modified up to the last 90 days, or you can set a custom time. You can search for a particular file name. You can search for any string of words that appear in the text of any document. Google will search the entire text of all of your documents and pull up the ones that have the particular phrase you type in here. Or if you don't know the title of a document, or you don't even know what's on the inside, but I do know who I shared it with, you can type their name into here and you'll pull it up that way. So that is how you do a document search in Google Drive. That's all for this episode on working with files and folders. In our next episode, we'll be talking about advanced settings, and I'll be showing you some cool tips and tricks for your Google Drive. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.